our predictions. They're underdogs by seed, and in terms of form coming into this tournament, you would say so the same. But it matters not here, because it is our final best of 5 of the evening here in the final round of the Swiss here on Friday night. It's HEET against Mustu Fluck.
It's going to be an interesting battle, HEET. A team who have come together and really shown that there are starlets still hiding. We know that these are good players, but I didn't recognize how good they were until I saw them in the Master Cup here, Tarlacto. Mustu Fluck, we know the talent that they have. They are a quality bunch of players, but against HEET, they're going to have to bring it up to the next level.
HEET are the ones driving early on, taking it from level high to low was Parker with the musty flick, ironically, against Mustu Fluck. Parker's here trying to find the pass across. There's a dangerous chance already cleared away by Edgeby, who paid with his life.
Still Juicy coming forward here. Is blocked off by Rexo. Put that ball into the corner. Parker looking for that central pass. Creamy, though, with a big miss there. And Edgeby taking the 50. Will try to hand it off to Rexo as well, but pitches it against his own teammate all the way into corner, where Parker now in control, takes on Creamy. Edgeby has been challenged as that ball flies up into the middle of the field. Rexo, a long boom. Parker needs to get back, but he won't get back in time. Edgeby gets the first.
He exposed and Mustu Fluck punish, and they strike first here in this series with Rexo clearing it straight down Broadway off the ceiling. Edgeby with an open net, and he delivers.
A very nice and simple finish, and really the kind of start that you'd want. Nothing too flashy, no mistakes really being made, which are huge absolute howlers on the pitch. It's just a nice, simple counter-attacking goal, but looking for reason, nearly managing to break the defense and walking down that park. And HEET there, showing their first signs of offense, but can they get the job done here? 1-0 down and a long way to go.
Little bit scary, that ricochet in off the corner, as HEET nearly got an equalizer. All Danish side in Mustu Fluck, they all clicked spectate mode and just had to hope it wouldn't roll in off the post.
Could be Rexo. Still pushing down this left-hand side. Creamy the next player to take over, gets a 50 with Ferres. Edgeby in the middle, tried to play it slow, because he did lose the ball for just a small amount of time. Now Rexo taking on Ferres in the corner, grabs the 100 boost, brings it down and gets a wonderful pinch all the way down to the other end. Creamy, though, gets a pinch himself high up on the ceiling, but that's a pass down to the center from Juicy. Parker the intended target, but it didn't quite see him in the middle.
Rexo.
Oh, here he goes. Rexo past the last man. Controlled as you like with a 2-0 lead.
Calm and composed. Creamy gets battered out of the way, but makes the pass. It's what he does. Ferres left out hanging in the 1v1, and Mustu Fluck up 2-0 here in game 1. I don't know who it was on the desk pre-match who was predicting so confidently in HEET's favor. Couldn't have been all of us. No, definitely not.
Honestly, I don't remember those guys on the desk. What's the names again? Do we know?
No, I don't know who they are. I mean, Creamy's trying to play it up to Rexo, who's trying to fish for the redirect down. Crossbar ends up a pass. Creamy tucks it in from point blank. It's 3.
Rexo there with what is probably one of the best passes that we have seen all day long. It's lucky that it wasn't quite a goal. He would have loved it to be one.
He was shooting.
But, you know, we all know what he was trying. But we'll just say it's a really good pass, just for his sake.
Great pass in the quick chat. That's what we needed to see. HEET need to see something, any pulse, a sign of life. And Edgeby, you know what? He can't reach that. There's a sign of life. Straight off the kickoff, Mustu Fluck let their guard down.
Have HEET returned?
No.
Are they No, okay.
They're still warming up, if you don't mind me saying, Swaces. They have got their first on the board with plenty of time on the clock here on Manfield. Reminder, this an elimination and qualification series in the final round of the Swiss stage. 5 of our 8 teams going in to the weekend are already booked. We still find our final 3 in this very round. HEET vying for that spot, just as Mustu Fluck have the advantage early on.
Parker on his backboard, gets the clear away. Rexo again up. Reset off the ceiling, but Juicy's the first player to take over on the side of HEET. Pinches it down. Parker with a weak shot. Couldn't quite latch the front of his car. Onto the ball to get a lot of power behind it, so now Rexo has a chance. Can't get past the player on the side of HEET. Creamy looking to bring it on down as Edgeby again just popping it high into the middle, making another follow-up onto the backboard, and it will be cleared by Ferres, but Creamy with a follow-up shot. Ferres again to make the save.
Creamy is really pushing these HEET defenders back. Frenchmen are not enjoying his permanent company in the defensive side of their half. Speaker really gets another boost steal, tries to get a bump on his rotation through. Edgeby will follow him up, but the loose ball spills only as far as Rexo. He pushes it back into the zone, but a strong clear. Heat are not being allowed to play the game that they'd want, that's for sure.
They're really not. They are being held back, but Juicy, my goodness, put on the afterburners and managed to force a goal, which is wonderful to watch. Look at that.
If you can't play the game, they're letting just change the rules. He breaks all the rules as he triples it off the backboard to make it 3-2. And 3 was the healthy lead that Mustu Fluck held. It has been narrowed down to 1 with 1 minute left on the clock.
This would be a huge victory for Heat here if they're able to bring it on back. This one down from Perez into Parker. Parker getting the 50. Edgeby awkward, needing to rely on Rexo to get that one cleared away. And now Juicy in his corner, tucked by Creamy. Perez needs to get a touch, and he doesn't. Rexo, the last man, they're bumping into each other all over the place, Tarlaxo. Somehow Heat survive. Now they have a chance, but it's stopped by Creamy.
Juicy's up in the midfield, time ticking. Rexo, big block, it's away to the side. Edgeby will follow first. Be able to get a second. Nice little delay with the Musty, but Perez will be able to intercept. Rexo, a little bit too laxadacious. Juicy pounces, and he's up towards to try and pinch it towards the midfield, I say. Parker not quite there to pounce immediately. Perez himself now, the time continuing to run out for Heat, and he just can't work it through this corner. Juicy again trying brute force, will pass it out, but the save is there as the time continuing to bleed. Only 8 seconds now. Mustu Fluck trying to carry it away through Edgeby, who leads the line. It's Creamy with the follow off of the backboard. Rexo's up for the finish, and he finds it and wraps up game 1.
That is a huge victory for Mustu Fluck. Even though the time isn't at 0, we kind of know that it's going to be Mustu Fluck taking that first game. Looks like those guys that predicted 3-0 are, you know, not quite on their A game to predict them.
What a bunch of wallies.
So bad at making their predictions, but who knows who they were. But what we do know is Mustu Fluck are the first winners in this series.
The rocky road just continues to be bumpy for Heat, who will have expected a far smoother ride in the Swiss stage. They're going to have to find another gear here going into game 2. It was just too quiet and awfully suspect on the defense as well.
Definitely, they were not looking their best. I'm just wondering, what has happened to Heat since the Open qualifiers to show that they haven't had the same level being put into this Master Cup yet? They are really struggling here, Tarlaxo.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I wish I could figure out the answer. I'm sure if they could figure out the answer themselves, then they wouldn't be in this spot to start with. It's all credit to Mustu Fluck and all their opponents, really, for not just seeing the names and resigning themselves to defeat Mustu Fluck. It's been a long evening for them, and they want to end it on a high note. Definitely,
and they have set themselves up for success, which is always a very positive start. As you mentioned earlier, both of these teams coming off 0-3 defeats. That had to hurt, and it's all about who can recover the most. Mustu Fluck, a team that have been together forever. They're really good friends with each other, and when you have that sort of vibe around your team, it just almost initiates everyone to, well, just feel good about everything. No matter how much you lose by, you can always uplift the mood with a bit of a joke and a bit of a laugh with each other, and I don't know if Heat have that same ability.
Just surprised, really. You talk about having a laugh and being in a positive mindset. Heat, you're right, did also get swept by Halada, but that was in their first series of the day. Coming into this final series, they themselves swept and eliminated the Lost Souls in round 4 with 1 and 2. So they should really have been coming into this with an onslaught of momentum as they finally do strike first. I say finally, it's early on here in game 2, but it's that first lead to sort of show that that momentum may still exist. They're really just brute force and pace, beating out the Mustu Fluck defense. That's the sort of thing we need to see. Whether they can keep that up is the question.
It will be difficult for them to have that sort of pace and make it work every single time, because when you do force players that quickly forward, you're normally going to leave yourself wide open at the back, and that can be a big weakness of Heat. We saw it at the beginning of the game with Mustu Fluck getting a nice simple goal just because he overcommitted on their offense. So although it worked this time around, they have to be aware that it may not work again. As Edgeby, you are demonic. He hunted his opponent down for years on end.
Creamy, the VIP, cruising with the ball, and Edgeby, the bouncer, removing. Oh, this terrible, terrible Juicy. He was clearly asking for an autograph or something. He got sent to the Shadow Realm. Mustu Fluck level here on 420. Level in the series. They're trying to avoid being still in a great position.
Just a question now, how can HEET respond to this? Can they take the heat? Or will they be able to diffuse it on down, turn down those afterburners, which Mustu Fluck have clearly placed upon themselves? As Parker, off the ceiling, starts dropping down, uses the reset just to get a bit more of a clearance on that ball, but Juicy, again, dropping it down to the middle. This seems to be a repeated system here for HEET. Every single time they're on the ball, they just put it down to the center and hope that someone's there.
Well, seems to be certainly their first course of action, but we'll have to see as they set up for pressure here. You have two jumping for that in Juicy and Parker. Parker will be able to regain, but limited boost will mean his touch has to be supported. Forest will allow HB the touch. Out and uncontested, Rexo up, won't find the double, but he leaves it for Creamy, whose shot is blocked by Parker at the top of the box. It's Juicy trying to run it away, up off that right-hand side, but he's also running out of boost, and Mustu Fluck continue to make the strong challenges required.
It's looking good here for Mustu Fluck. They're just holding their ground, aren't they? No holding back as well. They want to just keep it centralized, keep it slow, play at their own pace, and they're forcing HEET to do that, which is giving Mustu Fluck a massive advantage going forward, because HEET, they could start getting a bit frustrated with this style of play, that they're not allowed to produce the mechanics that they want to, the solo plays that they want to, those infield passes which they've been searching for, but apparently the map that they have been given was all a bit wrong. That red X is somewhere totally different.
Parker's got control, he looks for the flick, but it's on target. Yes, it is. Scoops it up, rainbow flick, up and around. It's 2-1 HEET.
Decent goal there from Parker. Brilliant first touch, and then just a little flick of the wrist just to take it over Edgeby, and Creamy rushing back, tried to get up to that top corner, but couldn't do it quick enough. Dived into the goal just to give himself a bit of extra time, but again, HEET able to go on through. Parker, that specialist in control of the ball, had to do something, but look at this pass. It's all right, so it's a Creamy Edgeby with a follow-up. Juicy with the save. I don't know how he managed to get onto that, but what a stop it was. Now down the other end, Rexo forced to make a good stop.
Pivotal save from Juicy there, coming off the inside of his own net. Keeping that narrow lead, the advantage towards HEET. Can they extend it with a follow-up? Somehow, Edgeby reading that play. I hadn't a clue what was going on, but he manages to make the save. I think half due to the fact the ball ended up being straight at him, and for that, I imagine he is very thankful that when he get involved on the offense, he looks like he has to rotate out for boost. Creamy will poke it towards the midfield. Rexo not really making contact there, trying for the redirect. HEET will push out again.
Crucial timing now for Mustu Fluck to find some sort of victory here. Anything that they could want, anything that they could be praying for at the moment is a goal. If they let HEET come back into this series this early on, I'm not sure if Mustu Fluck will be able to see it out. 2-1 to HEET is how it stands in this game number 2, and if they get the momentum here, Tarlacto, they are not going to let go of it.
Yeah, HEET, I would argue, are already very much in this series. It's up to Mustu Fluck to prove us wrong, and unfortunately, they've done quite the opposite. Creamy unable to react to the spring out the side wall. Parker is going to get an easy one.
Parker has just had brilliant control on the ball, knowing and planning what he's going to do before he even goes near the ball. He knows what he wants to go for.
He's already got the hat-trick. All 3 goals Parker has. A hat-tricky not in the Burnabout. It is here on Aquadome, as Rexo will try and find the response, but Parker is there. Creamy looking for the early pinch challenge. Mustu Fluck don't want to let this game slip so easily. Still trying to fight for it, but Juicy is under control of the ball. Certainly just completely absorbs the ball so much as he controls it. Rexo, doesn't matter. He just takes it off him, runs it down, completely unchallenged.
That's a big mistake coming out there from HEET. Nobody able to get back in time. I think there was a little bit of a bump as well on Forest by, I think it was Creamy or Edgeby, the one that was being a bit of a nuisance in that back line, which was enough to open up the chance for Mustu Fluck. And 56 seconds as well is more than enough time for them to come forward and find a goal. Creamy here as well, 0 boost on attack, flips away from it, but Edgeby sets it up in the middle. But Rexo, look how far back he is positioning. I'm quite surprised by that, because now they need to start taking risks to bring themselves back within a chance of winning this game too.
Close shave there for Mustu Fluck. Still very much in this though, as it rattled across their goal line. Rexo is up. Under control with the flip reset, but Ferres reads it strongly. Edgeby quick to the second ball. He's up to the ceiling, gets the reset, looking for the flip, tries it, but it's blocked early on by Juicy. Coming from behind the ball, 20 seconds on the clock. Mustu Fluck still need the late equalizer. Maybe that will fake out Parker, but no, he still gets the read, and the shot is high from Edgeby.
It was getting close, so for Mustu Fluck, low boost and attack here for Creamy. He needs to get it past Ferres, but he cannot do it all the way down to the half of Mustu Fluck. Ferres again just slowing it down. Will it touch the ground? It will. HEET bring it back to 1-all.
Only seems fair after the performance from that man right in the middle. Parker, a showcase, a marquee performance from him there. Clinical every time he was on the ball, really outperforming anyone else on the pitch. But it sometimes, a lot of the time in Rocket League, regardless of the team, it will take an individual step up like that to bring a team back into a series when the chips are down.
Definitely. Parker, the true showstopper in this match, in game number 2. And it was all about when he brought the ball down to the ground. That was when he was at his best. Simple dribbling tactics is sometimes all you need to compete at this level. He didn't need to do anything more than just make one little touch, get past the next, and then take a small little shot towards the goal. It is as simple as that.
And it's quite ironic, really. I think the third was the easiest of the bunch. He peaked early with the flick early on past 2 players. A perfect placement. Though always a nice goal in the sense that it can build the confidence and get a team rolling. And it looked like it did do that for HEET, but you also want reproducible goals, one that don't take top-offs in order to get past the defense. And in fairness, you know, they did force some mistakes out of the Mustu Fluck defense, especially late on with the midfield being unattended, but then they were sort of a victim of that themselves. So there's still improvements to be made on both sides.
Absolutely. But I want to go back to that midfield thing you just said about, because that is a massive part of this game. If you are in control of that area, you're able to just contain your either your offense or defense. You can just keep the ball in the sections that you want to and turn every single moment into a deadly attack or an opportunity for one of those deadly attacks, which HEET are able to create almost non-stop, no matter how difficult the situation is. They just seem to be creative. Look at Ferres here, right? He had no boost at all, yet managed to put a shot into net that forced Mustu Fluck to make a move. They had to do something about it, which is enough to make them use boost, use their rotation, use their time, and just do something.
Dare say it was an early kickoff scare here in this game 3 for Mustu Fluck. Not the first of the series, and I'm sure they'll be hoping it's the last, but HEET certainly threatening more in that respect. A big save from Edgeby, who's been critical on the defense multiple times. It's Rexo with the save as that one completely bounces down off the crossbar. Somehow, Swaces, we are still at 0-0.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure how Rexo even managed to make that read in such little time. He probably had like 0.3 seconds to think about everything he had to do.
I'm glad you had a stopwatch, because I didn't.
Perfectly. No, I don't know. I could just count that quick, you know. So that's how it rolls. I know it's one of those weird little abilities, but I would guess it's in that sort of range. But all of these players are 10 times better than us at doing all this, because they just think on the spot. They get the job done. Rexo here as well, just turtling his way through life. Happy as Larry has now HEET come forward.
Oh, at least they cannot compete with you for counting, as they do count 2 there, going for the ball. Nicely left by Edgeby for Rexo. Decent transition from Mustu Fluck, not an orthodox one. But Rexo will sponge up the pressure. It was a good response from HEET, but they're coming forward here through Juicy. Down off the ceiling, it bounces. Creamy is the only one there. Edgeby leaves it for him again. Mustu Fluck, clear communication seemingly. They're not actually both going for the same balls, so the situations aren't exactly favouring them either. Lacking a bit of drive with the attacks. HEET seem happy to sit back and watch them do their own thing, but if they whiff on the ball and give up a free shot, then it's going to be a free goal for Mustu Fluck.
You know what my next point was going to be? It was that there was 0 major opportunities yet in this game, and then as soon as that happens, a mistake comes on through, and it's easy for Edgeby. He sees that left side, and nobody is home over there as well on that back post just to protect it, and he takes advantage of the mistake. Brilliant awareness from Edgeby, and now HEET are again in a bad position, but Parker, the tank of a man, drives through the goal line and takes them all out.
Another demolition job from HEET as Juicy gets the worm burner. Little wave dash shot. That's a perfect timing on the bounce as well. That had to have significant power to get past Creamy, and who just couldn't react in time. Again, it's tied up in the series. It's tied up in the game. It's a blockbuster of a series thus far.
Really starting to ignite a flame within the Master Cup. The last series was good, but this one looks to try and be even better than what we have seen. Once again, both these teams
A bomb.
are on the line to survive in the Master Cup. Top 8 is what is available to them. I'm sure that they are thinking about that with every single move that they make. Edgeby on 0 boost here, tries to launch it forward, but that one will always be easy for a team like HEET to handle.
Let's hope so. They are being a little bit bullied on the back line by Creamy, who wasn't so happy that that corner boost got away from him. That infield gets away from Rexo. Edgeby having to rotate back fast again. It's Creamy up in the air against Parker, who has the boost to edge him out. Rexo there as the first responder, though. Takes it up the backboard, and with the assistance of Edgeby, it's cleared deep down away from the Danes, but it's coming right back towards them. Forrest looking for the double, and seems like a lot more patience and not passivity, but the attacks. We seem to be sending one player at a time. It's a lot more conservative. Teams a little bit worried to overcommit.
Absolutely. That is, I would say, the perfect explanation of what is going on, Tarlac, at the moment. They're just playing the field. It's almost like normally what you see in a game one, where you're just sort of feeling each other out, understanding how the play styles are going to go, and you don't really know how it's all going to break on down. But now, these two teams know exactly what is going on. Oh, Rexo, don't you dare do it. Another touch could have been a one to score a wonder goal. But now Juicy down the other end with 0 boost, can't make contact with the play, so he does have to leave it for big boy Parker, who is quite clearly one of the best players in this team of HEET. He has been astonishing. In that last game, he was brilliant in those moments, and he just needs one of those chances again to really show what he's got.
Who will be the player to step up this game when it matters even more to put their team on qualification point to the playoffs? It's another slight double commit from Mustu Fluck. The communication maybe getting a little bit more hasty, maybe breaking down a little bit as the tension only rises. It's Edgeby trying to press forward for them. He gets 2 touches, but only HEET players in the vicinity. Parker delaying his flip, baiting in the defender. He's still got the ball, but he's got no boost, and he's getting bullied back out across the goal. There will be no pass for him today.
I love that so much that they go around one way. Oh, it's a mistake. Nobody on the back post with boost. Parker comes flying on in and brings the lead over to HEET.
It's powerful enough from Forrest to catch out Creamy, who was still on his rotation back, but who would be there? It's Parker again from close range, making it 2-1. Still time on the clock, though.
There is enough for Mustu Fluck to bring it back, but probably not anymore. Forrest with another goal from the kickoff. It's 3-1 now.
There's been signs of this all series long, but I believe it's the only time that Mustu Fluck have actually been punished on said kickoff. They've been called out. Forrest may have been quiet on the offense, but he announces it loud and clear there. A crucial cushion for HEET, who moved 2 in front. Feeling a lot better about that now.
This is the HEET that we expected to see from game number 1 today here, Tarlac. So we know what they can do. We know the damage that they can do. Destructive in their capabilities. That shot from Edgeby, nothing more than just a little bit of a P-roller. As now they're even going for team bombs here, and that has seemed to mess things up a little bit. Creamy brings it back with 3 seconds left.
Parker just couldn't quite ferret it away. He gets kind of bumped by his teammate in Juicy, while Juicy tries to make amends, but just gets completely and utterly ratioed by Creamy on the goal line, who puts us back within 1 with 3.37 seconds on the clock. The fake kickoff.
What?
Mustu Fluck trying the fake kickoff, and at that point you can't blame them. Trying to release the ball behind you. See Edgeby leaving this, hoping that it would spill to Rexo for free, I assume, but Juicy reading it completely. I want to say great play from Juicy, because he's had the vision to spot that out and successfully drives into the ball to take the free goal.
Yeah, I think what they tried to do was a Spanish kickoff, but it was kind of the wrong format for it to work. They need someone who is pretty much just directly behind the ball, and that when the kickoff takes place, it is going to go right down the center of the pitch. But because there's no one behind the man on the diagonal kickoff, it just didn't seem to quite go to plan. So Mustu Fluck, good try, but also a bit mental from you too. 2-1 is now where we find ourselves.
Yeah, I commend, though, the fact they were willing to try it. They were not on the pitch for most of it, so they probably appreciated the fact to go for that kickoff. They were out-demoed 7-2 here on DFH, as we see that wave dash shot again from Juicy, combined with the demo. One of the plays of the series for sure, but HEET, a far easier goal, the one that made making that crucial difference.
Yeah, HEET's really all about the teamwork here. Even though Parker has produced some fantastic solo goals, it is all about them meshing together and knowing what is going on in each other's minds. That demolition from Parker was just... It was savage with how much he just threw himself at him. He kind of knew exactly what was going through Juicy's mind, reading what was going on. They were connected in some sort of manner, probably through Discord.
Yeah, probably comms.
Yeah.
Comms. But you know, if you want to act out like it's the mind reading, then that's completely fine. I'm okay with that. Although I have to say, hasn't looked like it thus far today from HEET, who would have been expecting a stronger performance in the Swiss thus far. They're here at the final call, the last chance saloon, and they are 2-1 up here in round 5 against Mustu Fluck. The French against the Danes go to game 4, and it's do or die for Mustu Fluck.
It's a big, big question for them now. Can they bring it back? Only these next 5 minutes will tell us if we're going to go to another game 5. Had a multiple amount of them today, and I'm enjoying every single second. Oh, Creamy, please do it here and now. Nearly made that connecting touch to get a pass for rest, but he was strong in his mind and defensive capabilities.
Stealing double touch, unsuccessful at this time for now. Juicy, once again, the interrupter, the interrogator, asking questions of the defense now, trying to play it across, but Creamy able to clear that one away as far as the midline for us is there. Take it down the right, and if HEET can continue pushing back early, then Mustu Fluck aren't going to be able to get these strange 50s and these, aggressive plays where they can get as close to the goal as possible. Speaking of which, they do carve just a chance, but Parker was the only one central enough to tap it in. And believe it or not, he didn't tap it into his own goal spaces. He cleared it.
Just as we expected him to do, as a goal comes up from HEET.
Players caught at the front post here. Creamy and Rexo. Rexo going up the backboard. Creamy also a miscommunication. Definitely not telepathy at play there, but a certainly clear punish. Juicy and Fares linking up, and they are in the lead here. The most crucial of games.
This is a big moment for HEET. Had a long run today and have had a hard look at themselves in the mirror. And now finally it seems to have gone through their heads on what they need to do to bring themselves back to their A game. But Creamy here, there's no way. Can he set up a teammate? Didn't quite have the boost and attack. The pass to the middle. Rexo to the bottom left, and that's 1-1.
Crucial play here as well. The critical plays continuing to come out from both sides as this beautiful pass from Edgeby times the side flip to perfection, and Fares caught a deer in headlights as that one gets slotted past him into the bottom corner. Did I see that come up on the scoreboard, by the way, Spaces? Regularity 3-0.
I don't want to speak about it.
The team you said that wouldn't make it to playoffs?
Yeah, I don't want to speak about it.
Okay, let's speak about something else then, that's fine.
I may or may not have made a small error in my judgment of what regularity are able to do. But every so often, we make our errors. But here come Mustu Fluck. Will he go over the last man? It's on the line, and it's bundled in. It's an own goal, and Mustu Fluck take the lead.
I mean, Edgeby has just brute forced this through, though. You just can't keep him out. Juicy caught, tries to save it with the half flip, but Edgeby is just built different.
Terminator. That's all he is. He is just Terminator. Once he starts, he cannot stop. He'll always be back. He's ready to go, and he wants to make another bit work as well. Guns ablaze for the side of Mustu Fluck, but Fares wants it to come in there and bring it back to a 2-2 scoreline. But here is Parker as well. What can he do? All on his own. Sets up Juicy, but 3 players on the line. Makes it difficult to get past. Now Parker with another ridiculous angle. Can't seem to force it through. But finally, the opportunity opens itself up. And Parker says, yes, please. Thank you very much.
Now Parker was doing laps of the defense as he comes back around. A little bit of a standoff between him and Creamy on whether he wanted to fake or not. A moment's hesitation, and he fired. Could not be kept out from there. We're all tied up again, as I do believe it was Sui winning in Game 5 over Scorpions. Correct. To make it to the playoffs, which means that only 2 teams to split remaining are the ones on our screen right now.
Let's see if we will also be joining another Game 5 here, Tylacto. Mustu Fluck performing better in this game, seeming to have the read on what HEET are going to do a little more than what they had in previous matches, but they still need to respect what he can do. They can't go guns ablaze now because of the situation that they are in. They have to still defend, and here is Creamy with a double. Oh my goodness, the 1-2 between the players was brilliant, and it is finished off wonderfully too.
Fantastic link up from Mustu Fluck. Forest completely wrong-footed as the underhand serve from Creamy straight underneath, giving Mustu Fluck the lead here. We're on track for 10 goals this game, Sway, so I've just sort of not really noticed how fast they've been going in.
That's kind of fast. That's a very large amount of goals that we could go towards.
We had 9 in Game 5 in our first series of the day. This has been a crazy day, ladies and gentlemen, because it's another. We've got 6 as Parker drops another one in.
Check the time. Do the maths. That's right, we're still on track for 10 goals here, Tarlac. So we want the 10 goals and then an 11 to finish it off, just to see who will be the one to go on through. I need a Game 5 at this point, Tarlac. I'll be totally honest. I'm looking forward to it because these two teams are going toe to toe. It is so close in this matchup.
Looking at Creamy and Edgeby in that replay, 2 players both in and around the goal map, but no one really up to contest the pass directly. And Parker was never going to miss the target from there, and well, how close it is. Oh,
no.
My goodness! Juicy with a fantastic free jump save as the rebound from Rexo. Juicy, the man, the myth, the living wall, apparently. How do you get past? What is that double save?
Nah, that's David Seaman in goal. That's not Juicy. That is David Seaman. Oh, I've seen him just, randomly start playing Rocket League, and he has arrived on the pitch and made a miracle stop. But that's a wide open net. Edgeby, can he find the target? It's just off the mark. That could have been a big goal, but no way can it go in. No, Creamy's there. Oh, Tarlac, so there was a moment, but as soon as I saw Creamy going along, not trying to force himself to speed up, I knew the situation was handled. It was calm. Red alert had turned to yellow, and we are still held at 3-3.
I mean, we could have at least gone with like a French goalkeeper like Uris or like Arthurs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of famous French goalkeepers, but now's not the time because it's 3-3 in the final minutes of Game 4. And Creamy might have a runaway here. He's got a chance, but he's got no boost. He can't ferry the ball any faster, and Parker and Juicy are both back. The flick is there. The flick is so nearly good enough, but Juicy strikes again.
Your knowledge of French goalkeepers would be very useful here, Tarlac. So I can't think of many more. Meslier for Leeds or something like that. That's another pretty decent goalkeeper. That is French, and now we keep on pushing forward. The only Danish one I can think of is Kasper Schmeichel, and Creamy is repping the name nicely.
You just, Michael? I'm thinking of Mandanda now for French. We're getting 2 side-horsed here because you never know when the next crazy save will strike, and Mustu Fluck are the ones trying to force it, but Forest able to pick it out in the midfield. Parker is there. It's just off the mark. Creamy, soft touch into the corner, controls it, gets the boost, is out into the midfield as Forest having to ferry the ball across. Rexo challenges, is off the sidewall, shot denied by Edgeby. Down the other end we go. Rexo denied to the backboard again. These shots being intercepted so fast, but maybe not this because Edgeby's up, trying to drop it down, but Juicy is the one to do that. We have overtime in Game 4. HEET are 1 goal away from the playoffs.
Mustu Fluck have to score here, otherwise their run in the Master Cup is over. Rexo on this corner, can he get around Parker? No, he cannot. Parker with a good read. Creamy with that follow-up shot. Forest there, awkward. Rexo trying to force a 50 through. Couldn't seem to complete that task, as so far Mustu Fluck have had the majority of offense in this overtime.
Force with AW3 and Assens eliminated. None of the Nordic teams made it, and it's gonna be none of them because Forest sends them home with the ceiling air dribble.
He comes on through clutch for HEET when they needed him the most, and that double calculated to perfection was exactly what was on the menu. They picked that order, and the order was served on a platter. HEET make it to the top 8.
And Mustu Fluck may have got to the final chapter of the Swiss stage, but I am afraid for them that they go home in a 3-1 scoreline. HEET, they were expected to make the playoffs, but maybe not in this fashion. They move on